It's it's funny. These kinds of stories never seem to end, right? There's always going to be that inner left friction, that beef for dinner. So here at the Vanguard, we always serve it up with a side of commentary, our take on the situation, parsing through what's worth commenting on, what's worth taking seriously, what is just fucking personality drivel, etc., etc. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk TYT Jimmy Dore, because they've been butting heads for since their inflammatory exit a few years back. It feels like it's forever ago, but really it was like 3.5 years ago. Isn't it crazy? It's not that long ago. It was like 2018 when that all went down.
Yeah, it's really insane, and the fact that they just keep this beef going, refusing to let it die. I remember when they put out their video, TYT did, about the whole situation. They're like, this is the last word. We're done. We're moving on. We're a serious news network, and we're going to act like one going forward. And here we are, like all these months later, and they still just can't help themselves. I guess, to be fair, in this clip, it was provoked, or it was brought about by this other dude on the panel who I'm not familiar with, who brought it up. So, it's not like they brought it up necessarily. It's this other guy. But we'll take a look and react to this, because this got pretty intense pretty quick. The escalation happened all at once. So this is pretty funny. And I have to say, I kind of dig the dude's energy in the middle. He's just kind of trying to keep the peace and tell everyone to chill the fuck out and calm down. But as you can see, Cenk and Anna aren't having any of that. This is pretty good stuff. Let's take a look. Here we go.
You and Dore. You guys all got to make up. You and Dore.
No, hell no.
Really?
F Dore, he could F the hell out. I wish I could curse on this show. Yeah, he sexually harassed me at work for years, for literally years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's garbage. He's a trash person.
It got childish because I seen it on both ends.
Is it childish?
No, it's not both ends, all right. It's not both ends. No, but all right, it's not the same thing. Okay,
yeah,
Jimmy says that us and people like Amy Goodman, he insinuates, are CIA, or that we're taking money from Nancy Pelosi. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay. A lunatic says things like that.
Okay, I didn't know
by the way, Jimmy doesn't believe a word of that. He took, well, then why'd you take our checks, huh, Jimmy? Hey, bitch, why did you take our checks?
I opened it up, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, because I need to clarify for the bitch. If you thought we were taking money from Nancy Pelosi and the CIA, why did you take our money?
You guys not mad at me?
Why did you take our money, Jimmy, huh? You goddamn liar, and you know it. I'm gonna say one last thing, okay? Because why does he sell out for money? Because those same white supremacists go and they give him money through YouTube and all the other things, right? Patreon and stuff. And he sees that, and because he's a greedy little prick who likes to lie nonstop, he goes, ooh, I'll be a right-winger. Vaccines, oh no, I'm skeptical about vaccines. Oh no, hey, I think everybody else is taking. Now he says the Green Party might be with the CIA.
No, the Green Party is the establishment.
Oh, it's the establishment. No, don't give money to anybody else but Jimmy.
Here, wait, I just gotta run. I think this is R.A. the Rugged Man, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's who this is, because they call him R.A. in the thing. That's the guy that basically was like, I will beat the fuck out of you, Tim Pool. You do not fucking step to me. That one of the most legendary internet clips of the past, 8 weeks, probably. That's the same guy. I like this guy. If you're ever out here checking out the Vanguard, R.A. the Rugged Man, you got a home here. I like your energy a lot. But that was fucking hilarious. Cenk is so unhinged. She's so ready to snap at any time. He's got so much bottled up rage. I mean, he doesn't know what to do with it anymore. And to some of that, I'm sympathetic to that too, because we're all frustrated right now with the algorithms, and to the extent that TYT gets bit by that, I'm sure they do, way less than everybody else though, so it's hard to shed tears for them. But in my heart of hearts, as a content creator that wants to, see everybody have a fair shake, I'm like, I get that, but he's so deranged. He's the epitome of malding, he's like a 7th grader that's trying to pick a fight and doesn't quite know how. Hey, bitch! Hey, bitch! Yeah, bitch! You're a bitch. Okay, what are we gonna? You're gonna try and call the other guy a misogynist while that's your number one go-to slur? I'm just saying, yeah, that guy's a serial sexual harasser. He's a little bitch, that cunt motherfucker. Oh, okay, it's tough to make that sale right there, guy. I don't know. It's just so fucking hilarious to me, and I like R.A. He's like, oh, I stepped on a sore one. I'm sorry, guy. Are you mad at me? This guy's hilarious.
Yeah, totally agree. Absolutely hysterical stuff here. Cenk just immediately takes the bait, goes to 10, goes off the rails, and as does Anna. He's a garbage fucking human being, like all this stuff. Like, all right, guys, all right, calm down, it's okay. But yeah, no, this is totally hysterical. And to be honest, I agree. A little bit cringy when Jimmy Dore starts accusing everyone of being a CIA agent. And we'll get to some more of that later. I do think it's kind of devolved into like self-parody where just everyone that criticizes you is a fucking asset of the US government or whatever. Come on, it's fucking ridiculous. Let's be honest. But Cenk does use that to conveniently ignore the actual point, the actual substance, which is that, yeah, regardless of whether or not Jimmy Dore cashed the checks as he did, they did take that investment, the $20 million investment from Jeffrey Katzenberg. That is a form of corruption as far as I'm concerned. And I think that that's certainly been evident over the last couple of years as they have devolved as far as their quality, as far as their values, etc., and become basically a shadow of their former selves as a show. So, you don't even have to get into the whole CIA conspiracy bullshit to point out that, yeah, they've been taking this money, they've been cozying up with establishment figures, and it's reduced the quality of their show. That's enough as it is. And as far as I'm concerned, that's been the main accusation. I guess Jimmy did recently, imply that they were also on the CIA bankroll with that recent Max Blumenthal video. But mostly at this point, the accusations have just been about the Jeffrey Katzenberg money, been about how that's clearly corrupted their values and eroded the quality of their show. Again, that's just my opinion. I think it's pretty obvious. And I used to be a big fan of TYT. So, that's the real substance here. And it's not like Cenk's really responding to that. It's not like he's really giving a sufficient answer for why that was necessary. Because again, as I've said over and over again, that money, in my opinion, reduced the quality of the show. It was better. It was edgier. It had more personality before that. And it's really proof of what cozying up to big money and establishment figures in the political scene does to the quality of your show. It kind of defangs you. And I think we definitely saw that with TYT. So, again, that's the real substance here. That's always been our complaint with TYT. We're not wandering into the whole conspiratorial waters of you're a CIA agent. That's ridiculous. That's just as ridiculous as when they called Aaron Mate a Russian agent, as far as I'm concerned. But definitely cringy stuff. And thank you so much, Disco Phil, for the $5. Cenk has gone best case of derangement syndrome. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%. Although, to be honest, at this point, it almost starts to feel like a WWE thing where they just keep this beef going, keep buoying up each other's numbers and attention and all that stuff. But what do you think, Zach?
Yeah, that's the conversation that we had with Tyrell actually on his show, Watching the Hawks, when they were gracious enough to invite us on for our 2 cents about the state of the media on RT. And look, that's exactly what it is. It's this WWE style of politics, and it's this, everything has to be larger than life. Everything has to be, this big character where I go in and I bash the shit out of you. And I, have all this bravado and tough guy energy and an enormous larger than life ego. And I pile drive you, or I, hit you with all like a suplex, and all this kind of stuff. And it's very WWE-esque. And, if you need, and obviously we have people in our audience that, are really sensitive when any kind of criticism is lobbied towards Jimmy Dore. And I understand that a lot of people really like his comedy and his commentary, and that's fine. But I would implore you to go back and watch the clip of him like 3 years ago, not long ago, guys, 3 years ago, at a point where, clearly he's an evolved political thinker. It's not like he's had some radical awakening since then. And he's very calmly, very rationally, we've reacted to it on this show saying, hey, man, I think Cenk is doing the best work that he can. I don't think that this Katzenberg money is, making him go one way or another. I think he genuinely believes this. I think he took the Katzenberg money for, grow the show, whatever he says. But no, I've worked with Cenk for a long time. He's a good guy. And I don't think this is influencing his views, even though I disagree with him on the whole Russiagate thing. And it was very polite. It was very level-headed. It was very normal person energy, right? Something that I feel like we get less and less of from Jimmy Dore because he leans so much more into that like bravado, that like big ego, that like I'm always right. And if you challenge me, like I'm going to scorch you to fucking death kind of energy. And that's just a reality. And if you like that, that's completely fine. But I think it's hard to deny that that's the case. And so, you can definitely see that he's decided that since leaving that, since his checks are no longer being signed, I mean, that's kind of a burn. I mean, let's be honest. It's like, yeah, you didn't have a problem with this when it was the hand that was feeding you. okay, then your show got big enough that you could feed yourself. So I'm just saying that is a little bit of a burn. We're not talking about decades going by, guys. We're talking about 3 rotations around the sun, 4 max. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you're like a 50-year-old man. You're not making like 4 years ago. You know, I'm just saying, like, it's hard to hide away around that and act like you're so mortified and offended by that shit. I get where he's coming from on that. The way that Cenk, he could have, again, rationally and like a responsible person. I mean, a rational person would just kick this to the side and be like, I'm done with this years ago. I wouldn't fucking keep responding to this. But let's pretend and say that a rational person is responding to this. There are plenty of gotchas to be made that don't make you look like a maudling fucking deranged idiot, which is how you looked, just like everybody else. Like, you're like, oh, some guy's in your show and he's like, hey, you guys are like the 2 most popular commentators in this space of media. Maybe you should make up. Fuck you! I can't believe you said that. Like, tell me that that's not got WWE written all over it. Like, that's exactly how you would perform. It's so staged. It's so silly. And that's what people want because that's clickable, right? And we've been talking a lot about it, how, like, if you're in our audience right now, you're in the most, like, committed camp of people who care about politics because right now it's kind of a dead zone. And we're in a rebuilding stage of the progressive movement because there's no Bernie Sanders out here. And it's a lonely road to walk. And we did the whole book club on Wages of Rebellion, and the path of the revolutionary is a lonely road, and all of these things are depressing, and some days we get caught up in doomerism, but we have to keep moving forward. Yeah. You have to imagine that these people have overhead and bills to pay and lights to keep on, and so this is one way where they can keep people glued to the screen, because at the end of the day, we're all forced to participate under the barbarisms of capitalism, right? This is the United States of America in 2022. So and I don't have anything inherently wrong with that. I like to make sure that we come out here and spell it out for people that that's what's happening, because I think that's part of what our role is.
Yeah, no, really well said. And I did want to talk also about this somewhat adjacent beef going on between Cenk and Max Blumenthal, who of course was on that Jimmy Dore live stream. Well, he's been on a lot of Jimmy Dore live streams, some of the most controversial for sure. But especially this one where they went over a new Gray Zone piece, which alleges that the YouTuber behind PhilosophyTube from the UK is basically, they insinuate that she's, on the payroll of like the British government, working with this Valent Project, a media group which has done like propagandistic material in Syria, I believe. I read this article once, but I'm not 100%, I'm not remembering every single detail about it. And also, I'm just not really someone that listens to what's it called, PhilosophyTube in the first place.
Yeah, I always preferred ContraPoints.
Yeah, me too. I like ContraPoints, and what I've seen of PhilosophyTube seems perfectly fine, to be honest. I don't have any like real beef with it. So, to be honest, I don't really have an opinion on the whole PhilosophyTube thing. I certainly wouldn't want to work with Valent projects to, aid them in their quest to, counter disinformation or whatever. That all kind of, is a little bit Orwellian to me and shit. But I also am not going to accuse her of being a fucking, MI6 agent or whatever the fuck. Like, I just don't really know enough about it. It seems like, she's on this project with them. So I don't know. It's very possible that some shady shit's going on. It's also very possible that there's not. I don't know. But again, this article was published by The Gray Zone, written by Max Blumenthal and Kit Clarenberg. And Blumenthal, of course, went on the Jimmy Dore show to talk about this reporting. As you can see here, this is a clip that leaked from it. That basically says, whereas Jimmy and Blumenthal claim that Sean's takedown of Jimmy was CIA funded. We can take a quick look at that here because Cenk got in on this too and had a lot of words to say. But I thought this was a pretty interesting clip that I wanted to react to. Let's take a look at this.
And really quickly, just to remind everybody who Sean is, he's the YouTuber that created that, now kind of infamous takedown of Jimmy Dore that we reacted to here. They kind of nailed his balls to the wall on some of the shit that he was doing over there. Apparently, he fired a sloppy, stupid producer that was the fault of all the ailments over at the Jimmy Dore show. We talked about how if that's the case, I still don't love the rhetoric used towards a laborer, a worker, somebody that was working hard on your show and all that kind of stuff. We have a whole video about it. You can look at our commentary there. But the guy, Sean, he made a video where he was basically saying like, hey, this is Jimmy saying one thing here, and this is him saying another thing here. It's a long video. It's like 40 minutes or something. It went around. All the Sam Cedar people latched onto it because it was a takedown of Jimmy Dore, that kind of shit that gets fucking really popular during the algorithm, in the same way that we were talking about how Cenk and Jimmy, often like professional wrestlers, WWE wrestlers, will kind of go after each other, or Cenk will just chomp at the bit to go after Jimmy because he knows there's a big clickable moment right there waiting to happen if he seizes it. That the same thing happens in the reverse with all the people who hate Jimmy Dore. If there's a clip of Jimmy Dore getting dunked on and it's pretty good, like the one that Sean made was just an undeniably good video, spent a lot of time on it, etc. It's going to go bonkers in the fucking algorithm. That doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out.
Absolutely. And thank you, Disco Phil, for the $5 again. TYT's turned to crap over the last 2 years on important issues, way more so than Jimmy Dore. I would say they both turned to crap on separate issues, but appreciate the comment and the super chat. And thank you for the $2 as well. Happy New Year to you as well, Disco Phil. Really appreciate the comment and the donation. But yeah, let's take a look at this video. Again, I thought this was kind of interesting, and I want to get your guys' reaction. But yeah, here we go.
And then you have Sean, who made a video about you, attacking you, who I actually didn't know he was affiliated with Breadtube, but he's considered part of their constellation. And the video attacking you, which relies heavily on official sources, the FDA says that, the World Health Organization says that. It looks a lot like this countering pseudoscience material.
FDA and WHO are pseudoscience. Okay.
It was algorithmically boosted on YouTube.
Oh, it was definitely algorithmically boosted on YouTube. No fucking doubt about that. That they was given the favored treatment on YouTube. The CIA and the intelligence beholden that Google and YouTube, they're in bed with the fucking intelligence community. Of course they are. Google, Alphabet. The biggest fucking largest, most profitable communications company in the history of the fucking world. Any company, of course they are. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupt you. But yes, that was when, as soon as I read the story, I'm like, oh, that's they funded this shit, that hit job on me, because it was super professionally done. It looked like it had to have some resources behind it. But
Gavin could have made that fucking video. I want everybody to know Gavin has the resources and the know-how to make that fucking video. This is absurd. And this really debases Jimmy Dore and Max Blumenthal, in my opinion. So you're going to, with the amount of information that they have, some guy made a successful video dragging your fucking ass, and he does so citing the FDA and the World Health Organization, and because it pops off because of your name and you getting fucking annihilated, somebody that's capable of trending on Twitter, somebody who, when you clash horns with Cenk, it does stupid fucking numbers on this website. You think that the CIA had to go in there and boost this random motherfucker? He was punching in the butt. Everybody knows how the algorithms on YouTube work. Drama fucking sells. Guess what? When you fillet somebody like Jimmy Dore or fucking Alex Jones or Sam Cedar or anybody that's got a big clickable name on this website, I gave everybody a whole host of names. I'm not comparing any of those people to each other. Joe Rogan, whatever, right? Steven Crowder. These people with huge names on YouTube, people are constantly typing into the YouTube search bar, X person's name does this thing. There's just so much of that if you can play into that, you don't need the CIA to boost it. That's how Gavin and I have a video of fucking like Matt Taibbi talking to Bill Maher. That's us just talking shit. It's got 80,000 views on YouTube. Okay, we put like fucking 30 minutes worth of effort into that video. It's not our most painstaking fucking edited project, right? That one, those never seem to do as well as the ones that just go off. Like, you can plan this shit out. And the fact that they're immediately, without evidence, jumping to the fact that this random Sean YouTuber is connected to the CIA, how's that any fucking different, guys? I want you to think really fucking hard and critically about this before you just immediately decide to simp for people that you like better. And we've had Max Blumenthal on our show. We've had Jimmy on our fucking show. All right, that makes you look bad. That makes you look unserious. Okay, that makes you look just like the same people who try and smear you. Okay. Oh, how's that any different than Aaron Mate's a Russian asset? Oh, yeah, he's definitely in bed with the Russians. Oh, he's definitely in bed with the CIA because he makes his living on Google. We all make our living on Google. We all live and die by the same algorithm. We're all fucked if that's what your argument is. If that's your argument, like, you got to get off YouTube then, because you're making your money that way too. I'm making my money that way too. We're all playing that dumb fucking algorithm. Does that make us CIA agents? Of course it doesn't. Like, stop being so intentionally dense just to fucking prey on a vulnerable audience. That's how it comes off. If that's not what's happening, that's how it comes off.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know what boosts things in the algorithm? It's when people watch your video all the way through, share it around, spread it around. When it's getting good traction, that's going to get it in the algorithm for the most part. That's why Sean's video did well. And to say that, oh, it was algorithmically boosted and it looks so well produced, therefore it must be CIA funded or adjacent, is completely ridiculous, especially when you look at Sean's channel and you realize, like, this video did about as well as most of his content. And especially because it had Jimmy Dore's name in the title. Yeah, of course it's going to do a little bit better than like this video about PragerU or whatever. But look at this. The 1776 report has more views. Was that one?
CIA did that one too. Same with dropping the bomb. Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah,
Must have
this
been
is a video about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like, you know, why it was unethical, why it was immoral to drop the bomb. Do you think the CIA was funding this and boosting that? Like, this is absolutely ridiculous to say that because a video did well on YouTube, it's proof that it's like CIA funded. And if you take a look at this video, I mean, yes, it's well done. God damn it, here's an ad. But yes, it's very well done. But it's not like so well done that it looks like it must have been put together by the CIA. Like, it's basically just a slideshow presentation where he's, you know, playing video clips and talking over them. It's really, you know, I don't want to say low effort, but it's pretty lo-fi. It's not like, you know, some super glossy, super well produced video. No, the reason this video did well is because in a calm and rational way, it explains how Jimmy Dore was playing with the truth, playing with the facts, and editing news articles that he clearly hadn't really read or was very familiar with the content of in order to make a point that he wanted to make. And that was very dishonest, which is why a lot of people started reacting to that video, sharing it around, and you know, responding. It became a bit of a dialogue, a bit of a debate when it came out. And of course, that's going to get it in that algorithm. I'm sure Jimmy Dore's also had videos that have reached 617,000 views, probably way more, probably videos that have twice that view count. So again, I thought that was totally insane. And again, you know, I'm not even coming out against the Gray Zone's reporting necessarily. I think that, you know, this story about Philosophy Tube is at least interesting, even though I don't necessarily think it makes her like a CIA op. I still think it's worth knowing that she was involved with this, you know, like PSYOP type of program to counter disinformation or whatever. Like, yeah, it's good to know that a big YouTube influencer in the political realm is working like that. It's interesting to know that. But there's no evidence like that for Sean. There's no smoke there. You're just pretending there is because it was a hit job, as you say, on you, even though a hit job, you know, usually refers to something that's been distorted in order to make a point. That's what you did, motherfucker. She didn't do a hit job, or Sean didn't do a hit job. He just pointed out what you were actually doing. So yeah, I thought that was totally ridiculous, to be honest. But all of that to say, all of that is just context to get into this response from Cenk, because I wanted to share it here. He says, yes, the CIA and Google are working around the clock to take down Jimmy Dore. That one eye shut look means Jimmy is sky high, which might explain the paranoid delusions. Again, Cenk just jumping right in the fucking gutter here. Right in the gutter.
That was funny, though. That was a good one. He's normally not funny. That one was a good one.
It is a little funny, not going to lie. Anyone who criticizes Jimmy or Gray Zone or algorithmically boosted CIA agents, hilarious. And then Max responds here and says, our investigation revealed that a top Breadtube influencer is covertly backed by a UK government and US intelligence contractor and has made some especially oafish left-lib media phonies uncomfortable. Chunk Uygur is just deflecting from the facts here. Yeah, but he wasn't actually talking about that. He was talking about this clip where you also accused Sean of doing that. So, you know, I always hate to find
evidence.
I always hate to find myself in this position of defending Cenk Uygur, someone who I quite revile, but I do think he's right here. You know, this is, you know, mockable. And I have respect for Max Blumenthal. I think his reporting on Israel and Palestine is second to none. He's an amazing reporter, but this is just a real blow to his credibility, at least in my opinion. I think it's totally crazy to at least not push back on Jimmy when he says this and say, hey, you know, we don't have any information, we don't have any evidence to that effect, so let's not, you know, jump on this train like my colleague Aaron Mate when he was accused of being a Russian asset. I think in principle we should stand against that kind of baseless smear. You know, that would have been a very easy response. You wouldn't have to piss off Jimmy or ruffle his feathers or whatever. You could have just said, hey, you know, you're a comedian, I get it. I'm a journalist, so I'm not gonna, you know, buttress that point necessarily. But it's exactly what he does. If you watch later in this clip, he basically says, yeah, it's very possible. It's very possible. So yeah. Pretty embarrassing stuff, can be completely frank. I don't think it's fair to go around calling other people who disagree with you or who make videos criticizing you to say that they're funded by the Russian government or to say that they're funded by the CIA or whatever. It's just childish. It's petty. It's unfair and it's stupid and it's exhausting too. It's just everyone's always pointing their finger at each other, making these baseless claims instead of just actually engaging on the merits of the substance of the policy, which is what we need to do. Healthy debate is good. I'm all in favor of intense, aggressive, debate. It's something that we've always, focused our channel on, always shown a spotlight on, always engaged in ourselves, etc. But where I draw the line is these baseless smears. This is not advancing the conversation. This isn't doing anything. You're just pointing the finger and saying you're a paid off asset. You said that because you were paid to, when there's no evidence to suggest that. And I do take offense to that. I do find that very problematic and again, just frankly exhausting. So yeah, definitely interesting exchange. Definitely some reigniting of this drama that we've seen on the left between Jimmy and TYT and Max Blumenthal and all these folks. But at least it's fun to comment on, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And it's just, I mean, look, yeah, it's just completely unhelpful. And this is a real thorn in our side that we have to get over with. And just because somebody disagrees with you, like, doesn't mean that they're a CIA agent. It doesn't necessarily mean that. And, of course, you can point to an example where, like, somebody was paid to believe something. And sometimes that's true. But you usually have to rely on getting the evidence first, reciting that evidence to the public. And we did not find, there's no evidence that Sean guy was boosted at all by the CIA, boosted in any way that was not typical to every single motherfucker that has a YouTube account that, uploads their shit regularly, gets to 300,000 subs. Like, it might be possible that Jimmy's channel is getting throttled less than Sean's channel. And if they came out here and said, oh, channels like that typically do better than shows like the Jimmy Dore show, they have this relatively harmless non-live stream model that's very video essay, very harkens back to like the more typical days of YouTube. A lot of times the fucking algorithm picks those up faster. That would have been a reasonable fucking argument to have that was rooted in reality and truth. Instead, they went off the cuckoo deep end, tried to make themselves feel better, and that's exactly what it was. It was manipulating their audience in a way that I thought was completely unacceptable, and just really dropped my fucking opinion. I'm not going to lie. I'm not here to sit here and mince words. People can get all pissed off that they want. I mean, you watch what I watch with your own fucking eyes. They did the exact same thing that they constantly fucking piss and moan that everybody does to them, which is baselessly smear their work that they've done. They didn't have a damn thing to say about the Sean guy roasting Jimmy's ass, and fucking basically like filleting him publicly and really damaging Jimmy's credibility, and how that might have something to do with something, but whatever.
Right. And even if you disagree with Sean's opinion on the vaccine, it's undeniable what he exposed was true. Even Jimmy admitted that was true, that piece of information had been edited, according to him, by a producer, to the point that it was inaccurate and no longer reflective of the actual source material. Even the author of that article had to come out and say, this is a distortion of my words. This is being made to say something that I did not say. So Sean got him. That is what it is. You got to deal with it, bro. Just take the fucking L, just take the fucking L,